good enough. They told me they are sorry. I have already been asked to leave Sweden, so I have to leave to be able to do the new application. Again, we started trying again with a lawyer and stuff like that. But it was like, because I had already, it's like this when they give you those 3 weeks, right? And anything
Yeah.
you have to do, you need to make sure you're doing within those 3 weeks. But because my pregnancy came after those 3 weeks, it was like nada. I remember when I actually woke up to book that ticket, I booked that ticket. I think it was like in the maybe like 3 a.m. or something in the middle of the night. My husband was sleeping. I just woke up, went to my computer, booked my ticket. Like, no, I'm done fighting. I'm tired. Like, I have gotten to that point. I have given so much. I don't have anything else to give. I think this is for the best. And we struggle after 2 months, and things happen for them, you know? And you have those ones that all they know is from one rejection to another rejection to another rejection.
Welcome you to Travel Night Mess. Yes, this is a platform for travel education. Surely, my hope and all my wishes is that this will be a platform for every Africans because so we are able to share our experience between each other. One thing we have to understand is that most of Africans in general we travel a lot, and when we go outside, doesn't matter where we live, we always seems to find ourselves in the same similar situation. And this is why today I have a guest all the way from Sweden. And there was a video that I watched that actually uh, engaged me to contact her to invite her on this platform so we can, as a this have a little discussion with her. So people facing similar situation, no matter where you are, your destination, you can also learn something. I'm going to welcome my guest today, all the way from Sweden, which is Susan. So Susan, I welcome you, and it's great to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Right, right. One of your video that actually that was the first video I saw when you talk about the situation. But we'll come to that later. But what you said at the end was that I'm only saying this because I know that somebody out there might be in the same situation. So I want them to able to know that they are not alone, and that really touches me. Like to tell
Yeah.
us something a little about yourself, Susan, to my viewers.
Like you see, my name is Susan, and I have been in Sweden for over a decade. And there's really nothing much to say. I mean, when I got into social media, it's not really like you say, it's for the following. It's just like when you start to do something and then you realize that your voice, and you have a lot of people that maybe share some kind of similar situations as you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I would wish somebody would say these things to me when I was in that position. So that was how I got into social media. So it's very, I don't really know, like, if you look at my platform, it's a lot of stuff, at the same time it's nothing. Because I'm just everywhere.
Well,
So really not much about me.
right, right, okay. And do you mind to me asking where you originally from?
I am from Cameroon.
Cameroon, right, right. Shall I say we are neighbors or
Yes.
we not? They always say Ghana and
Yeah,
Cameroon.
yeah,
They
I
always
mean,
say
we are all
Ghana
East
and Cameroon.
Africans, so
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you so much, Susan. Susan, let's start this way. Since you are in
yeah.
Sweden, tell us a bit,
Mm.
because as I speak to you, maybe somebody out there will be making preparation to come to, Sweden. As you said in one of your video that I watched, you
Mhm.
said Sweden is not like the TV that you get what you see on the TV. Now I'm telling you the reality.
Mhm.
So it gets to the point that people need to know
Mhm.
the reality of life or what they getting themselves into. So tell us a bit about
Right.
living in Sweden? What is the Sweden life as an immigrant, or I would say as an African, and what you've experienced?
That's a really good question because a lot of us from Africa, if you even ask us to put Sweden on the world map, we wouldn't even know where it is. Okay. And my take on that, like I spoke in one of my videos, is that a lot of us before we travel to Europe, we already come as grown-ups. We already adults. A lot of us are over the ages of 30, some of us are like 25 and stuff like that. And if you want to consider going to a country abroad, first start by looking the countries that speak the language that you speak, because then it takes away the barrier of integration, you know. So when I talk about like when I want to talk about Sweden in general, it's first of all, it's a completely different language. And when when it comes to like Northern Europe, they have a certain kind of lifestyle which is very much different from where we come from. Let's just say Southerners. If you go to like Spain and stuff and Portugal and stuff like that, we almost share like the similar kind of like cultures and happiness and vibe. Like we all bubbling people, right?
Yeah.
But now you come to Sweden, like the Northern Europe, they're more reserved, more quiet, more it's very more like laid back. So it's like you're moving from hype to cold, okay? And it's not just cold in the context of the people, it's also cold in the context of the climate. So a lot of times it is extremely difficult for us to navigate, for us to really feel home. And the Sweden society is basically built for the Swedes, when it comes to laws and the immigration system and stuff like that. So it is really difficult when you are coming here as an immigrant, most especially when you're over the age of 30 and you're trying to get a job, you're trying with the immigration. Before it was good, Sweden was a very good country. But let's just say the last decade has been insane. It's not one of those places that I would really advise somebody to consider it as a first option if I want to be honest. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah. And somebody will say that, all right, so if listening to you, what you just said now, if today, if the time is going back and you have to make another option,
Mm,
which option will you choose?
mm.
Which country will you go?
Yes, okay, right. That's a good one. I am from an English speaking country, and I think I would have considered English speaking countries. Maybe I would think like somewhere like Canada. I would probably think like the UK. Okay. And also, I mean, just not those because those places speak English, but it's more like it feels like they have a ground that nurtures talent. Like they it helps you to grow. Okay. Sweden, we have a society which is built on work and pay bills. Like basically that's the kind of lifestyle here. I mean, even to start a business, it's almost impossible in this country. So I think I
Yeah,
would
wow.
consider maybe I would probably be in the UK. I mean, US is never my cup of tea, but for those of for those people like US, maybe because that's a place where dreams are also made. They come to reality. It
Yeah.
nurtures your dreams to come to life. So I would say if you want to consider coming to Europe as somebody who speaks English or you speak French, go to maybe France. Go, I don't know where else they speak French. Go to other places before you start. If you're not lucky, or it's like, oh, I've been sending all of those visa application, we know how it is, and you're not getting lucky, then you can be like, okay, what are the other options? But if it's me, if I want to go back, I think I will probably consider like UK first before maybe like Canada or something like that.
It's fair, and I think it's true, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Right, let's look at something, Susan. A few weeks ago, I think it was the beginning of
Mm,
this year, a chance on one
mm,
woman. who was making a video on TikTok, and basically, there was a Nigerian woman who had about 4 children, and in Germany, but this woman had
Mm,
no document to stay in Germany. So basically, what happened was that at the end, this woman was deported with her children, 4 of them. They were all deported, and everybody was
mm,
shocked that, oh, because we used to think that, oh, living in Europe, at least as a woman, you have children, you shouldn't be deported. It's impossible,
mm,
but with time and time, we see things like this happening. So recently, I also came across when you also make a video and you also talk about your situation. Do you mind to share with us a little how it happened in your situation, and how you I know that now you
mm.
have redeemed the situation, which is the victory part, yeah, which is the victory part. But we
Mm,
always like to talk about these things sometimes, even though sometimes they are hard to talk about them, but just to show you that if they are
mm.
deported for a mother of 4 children, which means there are more of these people out there, and maybe they can be inspired by your
Yeah,
situation. So you might to share with us a little bit.
right. Um, of course. I mean, these situations, I mean, when you start to put your story out, that is when you realize it's a lot of more people in those similar situations as you. And I actually have the person who helped me with my application to move to Sweden, he was actually deported with his 3 kids and his wife. So it actually
Wow.
happens. Yeah. So in my case, in my story is very long. uh The thing is, one application leads to another and another and then another. And one thing that I've realized with the whole process and with the whole, like when I went through the whole thing, is that when you have multiple applications, then they count it as a desperate attempt to stay. Okay. Let's say if you try one, it doesn't work, and then you try the other one, it doesn't work. You just keep sending and sending and sending. And
Mhm.
at the end of the day you realize, these people, everything is record, so everything is like
Yeah.
recorded, right? And when they look at you, maybe the number of applications which you have put in, and it's like she has like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh shit, that's a lot, right? So let me just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be as transparent with you guys as possible. So maybe my situation is not going to be the same as anybody who is watching, but just to know how I got to that place. So I came here as a student, and during the time of my studies and stuff like that, like I couldn't get a job, and I was living like up north, so I had to make my way to Stockholm, where I am right now, just so I could get a job and stuff like that. So I dropped out of school. Okay, that was the first mistake that I made, which I'm gonna still again back advise anybody who is coming here as a student. It is not easy. It is not an easy journey. Nobody said it's gonna be easy, but try to get those grades as much as you can, because they're gonna act as a backup. So what happened was, when I moved here, I actually got a job and stuff like that. But then, because I didn't make the grades in school that were required for me to be granted a work permit, I got rejected. That was now the very first time I got like a rejection.
Mm.
And then I remembered one guy, he was actually a Ghanaian guy. He advised me, like, you know what, maybe you should go and seek asylum. And I'm like, but I came here as a student. That's not possible. But it just so happened that at that time, the situation in Cameroon also was, really bad. So I mean, it was on world news. So he was like, you can take advantage of it and just go and da da da. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I did that. That application was where my story I got shot in the leg. Why? Because I was already in Sweden.
Wow.
So I remember when I got my decision, the decision was based on the grounds that everything that had been happening had not happened to me firsthand. It was only but narrated, and the things that I got to hear from friends and see on TV. I don't know if they're right, or like if it's true or not. So I need to go back,
Mm.
experience it for myself, and then come back to say, yeah, now I can actually apply for asylum. So fast forward, but so I got this then like then we still had the rule, or if your asylum application get rejected, then you can apply for work permit, because then now it gets you a new, like, new reason. So then I then applied for work permit. Okay. So when I did apply for my work permit, to be honest, what happened was, I really cannot say it was the immigration's fault, because I mean, we all live in Europe. They cannot give you a permit
Yeah.
which is longer than the time that is on your passport. So it just so happened that at that time, my passport had run out, because I've been living in Sweden already for more than 5 years. So my passport had run out. So they told me I need to get a new passport if I want them to grant my work permit at this time. And it was COVID. Everything was shut down. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't travel. So there was no way for me to get a new passport. And I just remember my case officer said to me, he's sorry, he cannot help me because I need to get a passport. So I even tried to get a travel document, again added on my application list. It got denied. I applied again for a travel document, again another application on my. So now, if you want to count it, I had student, I had work, I had asylum, I had work again, I had travel document
Wow.
twice. Yeah, so it was like stacking up, right? And when he said no, and I just remembered just bawling, just like crying and feeling all like I don't know what to do. Like at this point, so because at this point now I was married, okay? So we got a lawyer who tried to like put it as a new reason for me to be able to stay. But still, it's like, even if it's like
Same.
you still need a passport, like you still need a passport, it still
Of
doesn't
course.
change anything. And it is COVID. She cannot travel. We did everything, but it was just like, no, we're sorry. So, fast forward, 2020 was when I got like my final. You get like three chances to appeal and stuff like that. I did like my final appeal, and they were still on the fact that I had to leave. So turns out at that time I got pregnant too. So it was like, okay, maybe this is a new reason for me to get to stay, da da da, And I was like really looking, like feeling like like I was reborn again. Like, oh, now I got a new reason. Enough. They told me they're sorry. I have already been asked to leave Sweden, so I have to leave to be able to do the new application. Again, we started trying again with a lawyer and stuff like that. But it was like, because I had already, it's like this, when they give you those 3 weeks, right? And anything
Yeah.
you have to do, you need to make sure you're doing within those 3 weeks. But because my pregnancy came after those 3 weeks, it was like nada. Like, nah, whatever you're telling them is like, nah, we don't care. You need to go home. So I remember when I actually woke up to book that ticket, I booked that ticket, I think it was like in the maybe like 3 a.m. or something, in the middle of the night. My husband was sleeping. I just woke up, went to my computer, booked my ticket. So when he woke up in the morning, I'm like, I'm going to Cameroon. He was like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, I already booked the ticket. It's like, no, you did not. I'm like, no, I'm done fighting. I'm tired. Like, I have gotten to that point. I have given so much. I don't have anything else to give. I think this is for the best. And he was just like crying, like, no, you shouldn't have done that. It's like maybe the pregnancy hormones were getting in the way a little bit, but it was just like I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I always bring this back when I talk about, even like sometimes on my live videos. It's like there are different types of immigrants in Europe. Okay, we struggle after 2 months, and things happen for them, you know. And you have those ones that all they know is from one rejection to another rejection to another rejection. So even though this person will tell you, "Oh, but I struggle too. I struggle too," until you get to that point where you start to you literally can count how many hours you sleep at night, how many like times you ate, like how, like you can count the number of like food, the amount of teaspoons or spoons you put in your mouth, that's when you know you have gone through the immigrant experience. Yeah, it is a place which I would never wish for anybody. So when I started talking about it, it's just like, you know what? I hear you and I have been there. Okay, because you can, it's a very lonely place. I'm not gonna lie. A
I
lot of
totally.
questions. How did you come back? Because that's a completely
No, no,
different
no,
story.
no. Right. So tell me then.
Yeah,
Tell me then. How
yeah.
did you get back then?
Yes, how did I get back? Okay, that's one thing that this is one thing. We Africans, we trust a lot, okay? And when I say we trust a lot, we don't trust each other, but we trust the Are we allowed to say,
Yeah, of
am I
course.
allowed to say that?
Of course you're allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, we
As the Nigerian would say Oyibo.
we trust the Uyghurs a lot, okay? And we always believe in what they tell us to be the truth, because I remember when I told my case officer, like, I was pregnant and stuff like that, and he was like, oh, that is good, but it's not going to help your case, you still need to go home, da 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 da. But in his words, and I quote, it is an added advantage to your case because you stand a chance to get the priority case, where if you go back, we and then you send in the new application, we're going to prioritize it, so you're going to come back even before the baby is born, but all you need to do is just to leave Sweden. But you know that's a lie, right? So in my head, in my Dululu mind, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe this is something which is just gonna take like 2 3 months or whatever, the way he sugarcoated it. And then I spoke to my lawyer as well. My lawyer was like, to be honest, she has looked into the whole priority case thing. She doesn't think it exists. But if he says that, it means there is probably something. So, but she has done everything which it takes. So if she wants to give me her legal advice, and in my condition I don't need unnecessary stress, it's just to be able to leave. Okay. Fast forward, I left the year after, and the same day when I left, I'm on the airplane. I haven't even I don't think I was even in Cameroon then. My husband did the application. They give you like this paper which you need to drop at the airport. I just dropped the paper at the airport. So he's like, okay, so now I'm gonna go straight on to do the new application. And then when he did the new application, we waited. Everything got registered. We got the confirmation and all of that. Then come the question about, so is she gonna get the priority case? Like, what's that? What you talking about? There's no such thing as priority case. It's like, but you guys, no, sorry, honey, you need to wait. And that was when the wait started coming in. The wait, you need to wait, you need to wait. Ah, Jesus. I was, I mean, I know a lot of people say, oh, I've been pregnant and it's a beautiful thing. I haven't been pregnant because all through it was, for me, it was just like stress and headache. And, but when we got to 6 months, and according to the Swedish laws, you can actually request for them to conclude your case after 6 months, right? So when I did that, we sent in that particular paper, like, okay, I want my case concluded. They were like, oh no, we cannot conclude your case because we haven't gotten all of the information that we needed from you. But you guys already told me, like, the moment that it's like, no, sorry, you need to wait. We have a lot of cases, and now it's COVID, da 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 da. And God knows my heart. Like, maybe I'm an evil person, but that particular day I probably did something good. I went on Facebook and I just randomly put it, like, I was looking, because at this time I wasn't into social media and anything. And I just said I was looking for a lawyer, if somebody could recommend a lawyer to me. And then one girl reached out, like, oh, I know this guy, he helped me out, da, 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 you can check him out. And then so it was just a coincidence, because the moment she sent me that message, I got a message from my aunt who is in Sweden, like, oh, I actually got somebody who is also a lawyer who can help you out with your case. This guy, I don't know how to say thank you to this guy. He just came to my rescue, okay, in ways I couldn't believe. So he said, "Oh, I heard you're looking for a lawyer." Da 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 da. I was like, "Yes." He gave me his fee, how much he was supposed to. I was supposed to pay him. I'm like, money, money not be problem, right? He was like, "Just get me out of this situation." Just get me out of this
And the
situation.
money
I'll be
solved.
good. Yeah,
And the
I
money
just want to
solved.
get out of here. And he was like, "Why did you leave? Why didn't you contact me like sooner?" Da, da, da. It's like, I didn't know about you sooner. I just found out right now. And this guy
Wow.
had to, I don't know what he did. Okay, maybe it's not even allowed for me to say. I don't know what he did, but he did something and had to move my case away. And then
Wow.
I got a new location assigned to me to my case. Okay. So at this time when I contacted this guy, it was around the seventh month now. So he was like, "Okay, first of all, I need to try to get your case away from Stockholm as like ASAP. Otherwise, you go and stay in Cameroon forever." So I'm like, "Okay, I don't care. I don't know what, I don't want to know what you're gonna do. Just do it." So he then went on, he got my case away and then shifted it to another city, which I'm not going to say because people might probably know who he is. And he did that. And on the eighth month, that is 1 month after I contacted this guy, I got an email that I was supposed to, that I had been booked a date in like 6 weeks ahead. Yikes. Okay, now I'm like 8 months pregnant. I am flight risk. I cannot travel. I had to wait. So it was like, okay, 8 months. I have my appointment in 6 weeks. So that's like nine and half weeks and half months. So okay, whatever. So then I gave birth, and that was when the real struggle started. But the whole storyline is he actually helped when he moved the case. It went like this. That was when they actually called me
Wow.
in. But
Not many people go through this and able to, able to even mentally get stable. So I'm quite happy about,
mm,
yeah, I'm quite happy for you actually. But Susan, I got two questions I'm going to ask you.
mm,
So when you came back, it took you I think 5 or 6 years to go back, right?
mm,
Right. So when you went home back to Cameroon, what was different for you? And obviously, you were not, even though you know that at that point you have to go back, but you were not fully
mm,
prepared mentally. So, how was life treating you
mm.
when you got to Cameroon?
Right, because this is another thing that I talked about where people say, "Oh, if Europe is so difficult, why don't you come back?" Da, 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 da. It's not as easy as they make it. Okay, when you leave the country, because when I left, I had just graduated from uni. You're 23, you're stupid, you don't even know your left or your right,
Yeah.
right? And now you
Yeah.
travel abroad, you've been living abroad already for like 6 years. Okay, all your friends that you left behind. And when I came to Europe, my mom died, and I couldn't even go back home to see her just because of the whole immigration wahala. So obviously, the dynamic in my house had changed. My brothers, where we used to live in the same house, everyone had moved out. So it was just my dad and my two sisters. So my sister, my two sisters, actually, one of them had her job, which she would go to, and the other one had school. So basically, I was a stranger in my home. It didn't feel, I cannot call it home. It didn't feel like home. It just
Yeah.
felt cold. When I left, my house was full. My mom was there. It was filled with happiness and laughter. And now I go home. I would stay the entire day at home. I was the only one at home. Everyone has gone out, to their own hustling. So that's why when people say, "Oh, why don't you come back?" It's not the same. a lot has changed, and then you realize, okay, I'm the only person here who doesn't have anything to do. I don't have a job to go to. I don't like it was like tick 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 tick, and then you look at the time, it's like 1 o'clock. Okay, I'm just thinking when my sister is gonna come back. When is she gonna come back from school? When is she gonna come back from school? And then you're sitting there and you
Mm,
look again, it's just like 2 minutes past. Oh my god, I'm gonna rip off my skin. Okay, because you are not in that. I wasn't in that mental space. If it was like I was like, you know what, Europe is not for me. I want to go back home. You have a plan. You put a plan in motion.
yeah,
Okay. Maybe you know, like, okay, I'm gonna work for like 4, 5, 6 years. I save up this amount of money. I'm gonna start up this business at home. Da, da, da. You have things in plan. Like everything is in motion, right? So by the time you come home, you already know exactly what you're gonna be doing. Like, okay, now it's for me to
yeah,
start sending in, I don't know, applications or whatever, da, 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 da. But unless you have put all of those things in place, when you just get deported, it is the worst. It is the worst because
yeah,
you first of all, you're still hanging on to the idea you're gonna come back. So am I staying?
yeah.
Am I coming back? You know, like those people, I literally have some people that have been there, like they stayed home for 2 years, 3 years. What do you go and look for a job, which is like, oh, maybe you, in your at the back of your mind, they can call me tomorrow, and so it's a very confusing place to be at the finances as well. Living in Europe, you are already used to this certain standard of living, how you like things done, and now you need to come back home. It's like, oh no, I don't want to eat that. Oh, like you still wanna you still wanna uphold that standard of
Yeah.
living. Oh,
Stuff,
struggle. It's a
yeah,
struggle. I'm
really
not gonna
struggle.
lie.
It's struggle, man. But you tried.
Yeah,
It as you said, you were pregnant
yeah.
when you went. So if you were alone that time, it might be also different. But you had to deal with two things at the same time, and
Mm,
but at the end also, I guess through that to make things successful faster. So, we thank God for the good
yeah,
side of it as well.
yeah.
So, yeah, but honestly, I'm quite happy for you. It's not easy because I know most of our Ghanaian brothers who might be recently some even were deported from US with this Trump policy,
Mm.
and most of them when you see
Oh,
them,
yeah.
it's so terrible. It's so terrible that it's like they already been kept at the camp, deportation camp, and they came back with just one plastic bag, and they can't even go to their relative. So
Yeah.
it's devastating. So it is good because stories like yours give them hope. Give them that
Mm.
they can still able to achieve what they want. So that's amazing. Right. Right. I got a few questions, then I'll let you go. Now there was one video I watched from your
Yeah.
from your TikTok. Now I'm going to ask you now, in
Yeah.
your opinion, which race are racist in Sweden? Because I know what you said.
Uh, that's a very tricky one. Okay. Because there are some people we're not allowed to say their names. It's they're like,
Yeah.
yeah. You if you know, you know.
They're like they're like Jesus.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to say their name. But
Yeah.
I know we always talk about like white people are very racist. White people don't like most especially when we want, usually when we talk about race, we talk about black and white. One thing which I have noticed or I have realized living in Sweden is that the people that we think they're more racist against us, it's the opposite. Okay, because immigrants, we are the worst. Yeah, we are the worst. And when I talk about immigrants, I am not putting the scope on like just color. It's just generally those people that they're not native, right?
Absolutely, I agree with you.
I've been making videos about jobs and stuff like that. I have noticed. I mean, like the company that I've been with, that I work with, I've been working with them for a long time, and I've had a lot of white Swedish bosses before. Okay. So, and now you can tell the difference, right? With a white Swedish boss, if you are qualified, okay, he would give you that job or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the immigrant bosses, we come from how can I say, from backgrounds where white collar job is considered like I'm the boss. You know, they always want to show that dominance, like, that difference in class distinction. So then you realize, like, you're black, why should you be working here? You are a woman, why should you be? Then you realize that the gap starts to it starts to become very uneven. Okay. So if you want to ask me, like, who is more racist, I would say immigrants. We're the worst. Yeah, we are the worst. If you go to a place where you find, I mean, I see even just saying hello to some black people, like, dude, please don't, hello, and even when you like you go into workspaces, maybe you go to a government office or
Yeah.
something, the kind of reception you're gonna get from a Swedish person and the reception you're gonna get from a non-Swedish person, it's completely
Yeah.
different. The non-Swedish person, you're trying to prove yourself to them. You're trying to. I find myself trembling, because it's like they see themselves like, I came here, I busted my ass, and I made it, and look at where I am. So bye, like who are you? So they try to rub it in. But because the Swedish
Yeah.
people, they have always, this is their space. They don't know anything else. From like that. So yeah, that one I they can hold me up to it. I think we immigrants, we're the
I'm into
worst.
logistics, so every time I go to the warehouse and
Mm,
distribute goods across some part of the Netherlands, and there used to be two warehouses that I go, but that belongs to the same company. What happened is that the same company in different locations. The other one that I used to go in Amsterdam, that belongs to that the manager, or the overall boss over there is a Dutch person, and the other one that I go
mm,
to is actually a lady who is actually from my own country, Ghana, who is actually in charge of that
mm,
place. And I quite remember the first time I've been there. She said to me, "Oh, are you from Ghana?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I could tell, and we have a chat here and there, but." I go there from time to time. There was never a day that she offered me a drink or a coffee in their place. But when I go
mm,
to the other one, which belongs to the which it's a Dutch person who's taking care of that place. Anytime you just see
mm.
me, first thing they ask me, "Oh, you want something to drink? You want a coffee?" And every time she always ask me if I
Right.
because she knows that I'm dry, I'm coming from a long way, all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
So it's sad to see that even someone from my own country couldn't offer me water to drink. So
Yeah.
so I understand you.
Right.
It is how it is. But sometimes, as you said, it's just us. Even sometimes you see your fellow African, and you just be walking
Mm,
as if he hasn't seen you. You say hi, and it seems like you're talking to the air. Every time I see your video, you are actually asking if there is a job, telling people there is a job here, go there. There's a job there, go there. So it's like you devoting your time to tell people who need of job, who can't find a job, a place where they need to go, which is quite amazing. What is the most positive
mm.
feedback you've got from making these videos about jobs, and what is the negative one you've got?
If you notice lately, I have actually taken a break with all of the jobs. I think I get too invested in people's problems. One will send you a message, "Oh, I need a job. I live in this. I'm a mom." They will DM you, and I cannot sleep. Okay, I cannot sleep. So I want to keep doing it, but at the same time, it's like I don't think it's good for my own mental health. Just by me knowing that it's a lot of people who want jobs, but at the same time, I see people that have jobs but they don't want to work. That messes my brain up. Like I literally want to peel my skin off. Okay, I'm serious. So the I think the most positive thing that for me that I would really, even minus the job, it's just the whole like talking to people in general. It's just giving that clarity to people, because sometimes I can stay on my phone just messaging people back and forth. Oh, hey, Susan, I have the situation. What would you advise I do? Da 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 da. And then I when I see it, it's like, oh, okay, this is something I really need to. And then you find me texting, and just giving that clarity alone just gives that's for me, that's the reward. Okay. And it's like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what I was supposed to do. Sometimes the things I don't even know them, but I have to go and look it up. Okay. Oh, this is what I found. You can actually do this, that, and that, and even just by giving somebody like an opportunity, like, oh, you can go here. Like I just recently spoke to one Ghanaian guy who was looking for a job just last week, and I went out of my way, okay, to go to this boss, and I spoke to her that I have somebody that I want to recommend. I don't know this guy. I've never met him before. I mean, I just talked to him the same way I talk to you right now. And then she said, okay, this is my contact. Give it to him. Let him call me. And he called, and the boss was busy at the time. Like, oh, please, I'm gonna call you back, but right now I'm in a meeting or whatever. So it's been like, oh, like several days. So I'm calling him yesterday. How did it go with the boss? Oh, she was gonna call me and she didn't call me. She was gonna call you and she didn't call you? Are you serious? You're the one looking for a job. Okay. You don't expect her to be the one to call you. So those are the things which for me it feels like
Yeah.
these are the disadvantages. Okay. Because when I go out of my way to try to secure you this job, I don't know you. Okay, it's actually a risk for you to
Yeah.
recommend somebody you don't even know. And now, instead of you to call her back, like, hey, it's me. You were supposed to call me back, but I just thought maybe you were busy. Da 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 da. So those are some of the downsides. People want you to just eat up everything and put it in their mouth for them to swallow. But that's not how it works. Okay. Another
Yeah.
woman, I told her, this is a job which I found for you. I've already spoken to this person on your behalf, and he told me to for you to send him their CV. And then the next thing she said, could you write my CV for me, please? I have a life. Okay. I have a job. I have school. I am a mom. I am a
Doing things for people sometimes
no, I
they
won't.
make you regret. It's
Yeah, it
just.
makes you one video where I said, when you're going through deportation, it is a very lonely place. It's you can fall into depression even without knowing. There are days you're gonna be speaking to yourself. There are days you're gonna lose sleep. You're gonna like not have food to eat. But the one sad thing about going through this process is that your family members will be the last people to understand your situation, most especially if they're not living
Yeah.
in that country you are in. Okay. So, my advice is if you're going through this, talk to people who are in that similar situation. People who have gone through that similar situation will know how it feels to be in that situation. But because you're telling your siblings, they're going to be like, you're lazy. You don't want work. You don't want to do this. They don't get it. And then this girl from nowhere wrote me and said, thank you so much for that message, because I just wish that I
Wow.
would speak to somebody that will understand what I'm going through. I'm like, that person, it's not gonna be from your secular friends. I'm sorry. It's just probably gonna be around. Maybe you're just gonna walk past the immigration office and just see some. They will be the ones to relate. And she was so happy. For me, that is the gratification that I get. For me, that's everything. That's the price, just to make somebody to feel you're not alone. You're gonna be fine. I mean, I always say this. If I could go through this because I was a very lazy person before I traveled to Europe, okay? So Europe has strengthened me.
Wow.
Yeah, so if I made it, anybody else can make it.
Do you have any last word you want to say before we end?
I mean, if there is something which I would like to just wrap it up, it's that we
Yeah.
we really need to change. Okay, not us that are in the diaspora right now, because it's already late for us. But at least for the people that are coming back, to just change that mentality that it's only abroad you can make it. Like if you don't
Yeah.
leave, your country, you're not gonna make it. Because
Okay.
growing up, like when we are kids, you find people traveling abroad. It used to be an achievement. It used to be something,
Yeah.
if you hear like, oh, this family has somebody who is abroad, you respect them, right? Like you see the mom, even the mom is passing by, it's like, a good day, ma, good day, sir, like those days are gone. Those days are gone.
That's it.
Okay.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, now every family can have
Yeah.
somebody abroad, okay? And the abroad is not the abroad that those people that will come and build five mansions and, all those skyscrapers, that they came to. So we really need to just take away that mentality that if I don't travel abroad, I'm not going to make it. Or because you see all of this flash on social media where people are like, listen, let me tell you something. I can be as broke as I am, but I'm gonna put up a video and I'm gonna look good and you're gonna think I'm rich. But I'm starving, okay? I'm
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
starving.
That's true.
I don't have a job, okay? Some people with, I mean, some of us don't even have places to stay. We are renting rooms in people's homes. You can't even use the microwave in the evening just because, there's gonna
You
be.
can't even
So
bath. You can't
those
even
are
take a
some of the
shower.
things. Can't take a shower. I mean, I've been there. My landlord would tell me, Susan, I'm sleeping. Yeah, and then we're thinking like, oh no, I need to travel abroad. Those are some of the freedoms you're gonna lose when
Yeah.
you come into.
Yeah.
So if I wanna say, okay, you know what? Because you really wanna come, okay? I'm not gonna stop you from coming. Come with a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, don't come like a lot of us. Don't come like me. I just woke up one day. My aunt is like, "Oh, I'm telling somebody to look for your mission." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm traveling abroad." Come with a plan. Okay. In Africa, we
Yeah.
have a lot of ways we can get things in a much cheaper rate. Let's say you can go and learn how to
Yeah.
to barb hair. It's not that expensive. You
Hmm.
can just go to your neighbor and learn for free. You can go and learn how to braid hair. You can go and learn how to become a mechanic, how to paint walls, how to mix different color painting. So because that's the route that I'm trying to look into now, since they are like, we all need to come and try it. It's like, okay, instead of saying don't come, how can you come, which is gonna be beneficial to
Hmm.
you? So if anyone is watching me right
Yeah.
now, I'm gonna say, equip yourself. Just don't be excited about the whole visa thing. Oh, I got a visa. Make sure you make that visa count. Yeah, before you come.
Wow. Wow. Well, make the visa count. And I totally agree with Susan. Right, Susan,
Yes.
I'm sure definitely I am going to invite you again. Yeah, I'll definitely invite you again for in the
Yes.
future for sure.
Anytime.
Yeah. You can give me some updates and also some other different, things. We can always talk about other things, that could help
Yeah,
with,
sure.
our African brothers and those in the diaspora, yeah. So thank you so much again. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you here today, and I look forward to see you again. And yeah, thank you so much. Right. So that was Susan. I like her passionate, and the funny thing is that I have contacted similar people that I wanted them to share their story with us, the experience and dedication they want to give us. It's not necessarily about the story. It's more about the education that comes along with the story. Because as Susan said, the reason sometimes she like to share things is because she wants people out there to know that they are not alone. And I love this. When you go through a situation, sometimes you feel that you are alone, but how will you be able to know that you are not alone? you know, until you chance on a platform or on a platform where somebody is sharing similar situation, and then you realize that you are not alone. And when you realize that, it gives you a bit of spirit. It gives you a bit of hope that it will be better, or it can be better, or maybe you should do things differently, or maybe you should do things the other way, or maybe you should change the way you do things. We are all not perfect, but until then, we need to learn from each other, share our experience between each other. That's why feel free, if you want to be on the platform and share with us about your experience or any indication that you would like to give us regarding travel or living abroad. Please, you can contact me on my email, henry.voyagex@gmail.com, on my TikTok, voyagex. When you reach me there, I will definitely get your message. For now, thank you so much. My name is Henry. Goodbye for now.